Hello, I'm Father Louis Skirty with Friends of the Word, and today my guest and our presentation is Jerry Speziale, who's the Director of Police, Paterson, New Jersey. Welcome again, Jerry.
Great to be here, Father.
Jerry has consented to come and explain some of the aspects of his task and his challenge as being police director. Previously, Jerry discussed the role of technology, and we're going to pick up on that. One of the things that Jerry mentioned before was the website and how, okay, why don't you explain that again, how people from the community could be attached to your website?
Basically, what you do is people in the community go to pattersonpd.com. And when you go on our website, you go to the section that says Eyes on Paterson. When you click on the Eyes on Paterson, you download all your information so that we can take your exterior cameras from your building or your home, and then we can put it into the police camera room where police officers are monitoring it.
Right.
We can have the radio room view it, and we can also have a patrol car could view it on their mobile data computers.
That's amazing. I'm so impressed with that. Now, Jerry explained that before on the previous show. Now, we have a few audience members here. They don't want to be on camera, but I'm going to ask them to ask the questions that they asked during the intermission. Okay, do you remember the question you asked?
Yes. Does that mean that if there's a robbery taking place, that the person who's in the store, that owns the store, can connect to you and tell you that the robbery is going on?
Okay, the question was, can the person in the store, if there's a robbery going on, be connected to the police while it's going on?
They would be connected prior.
Yeah.
So once you connect, you're in there for life.
Right.
So until you take yourself out.
Right.
So if you're at 495 Main Street and you're a store and you're connected into our camera system and a robbery takes place, when you dial 911, we can automatically go to that camera system and see and reverse to see who committed the robbery. Was there a person with the red jacket fleeing to the left?
Right.
So you get all of that. Well, the police car is responding. You have all of that information that you've gleaned from the camera system prior.
Right. So the store owner has to click into 911.
They go to 911. We always keep
Okay.
people, universally throughout the country, you never want to take people away from 911.
Right.
So you're always going to call 911. The Eyes on Paterson and going into the camera system is something you do prior. So
Right.
now you know
So
you
you're
have
registered.
that.
Yes,
So
yes,
you're registered, you're in there. When you call 911, you can say, there was a robbery. However, I also am in
Yes.
Eyes on Paterson. Now
That's
we know,
great.
connect, look, reverse, see
Yes.
what happened.
Have you indicated to the community that maybe they should get a tag that they put on their front door? We're connected to Paterson.
We are going to have stickers, but the real program is going to be signage that will be out in the community.
Great.
This
Great.
area
Great.
or this neighborhood or this
Great.
business is under surveillance by
Yeah.
the Paterson Police Department, because that will help deter the crime.
Absolutely. And deterrence is so important. It's so important in our society today. I guess it was always there, but we hear about it more because of social media. The growth of crime in our towns, doesn't matter city or suburbs. And I think your role as a police director is so important, and to keep ahead with technology is,
Sure.
oh my goodness, a great a gift almost.
I mean, we're in the age of technology, and
Yes.
it changes so rapidly
Yes.
every day. So
Right.
to be able to do these kind of things
Wonderful.
is tremendous. I mean, it provides safety to the community, it provides safety to our officers,
Mm-hmm.
and it just helps us reduce crime and prevent it in the first place.
And give us that site once again.
It's www.pattersonpd.com.
Great. Now, we also have another question from a member of our present audience. And, Brad, you had a question about technology?
Yes, Father. Director Speziale, in today's age, the violence is so bad that police officers have been shot just sitting in location in their vehicles, as recently in New York. Does this system that we're talking about, which downloads to your computer system, give the officers who are responding, the first responders, any heads up as far as information that they can glean and visual on site?
Yes, it does. As I said, if a police officer is responding, the ultimate idea of the site will be to have a map come up in the computer of the police vehicle on their mobile data computers, and then they know they're going to a specific location. They'll see red lights around that location and be able to click on each one to go and see a camera view, so they know what they're facing before they arrive at the scene, as well as the camera room telling them over the radio, you have a masked, armed suspect that's going left on Broadway or going south on Broadway, north on Broadway. You're going to have so much intelligence that this will be driven by camera, intelligence, and notifying an officer. So it's, like I said, it will prevent officer safety, it will provide it, and it will also prevent crime from occurring in the first place. So it's a win-win on both sides of the equation.
Thank you. That's a full answer. How did you get into crime prevention and police work?
You know, I read a lot of books about, different police leaders and different strategies, and follow people that have been criminologists from whether John Jay or Rutgers or different universities.
Right.
And reading those books and reading those periodicals, you come up with different ideas, and then you take the information that you glean from that and try and put it into your city to make it fit.
That is fascinating. How did you originally get a piece of dust here? How did you originally get into crime prevention?
I became a police officer in 1982, and that was just following in the footsteps of my mother's brother.
I was wondering if it was in the family.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
Who was a New York State trooper and one of the first original Passaic County Park Police.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So,
and you admired him?
I admired him and followed that. He was an undercover, and I ended up following in those same footsteps.
Excellent. What was your educational experiences?
My educational experiences, I have a bachelor's from Caldwell College in criminal justice. I have a master's from Fairleigh Dickinson. I'm also a graduate of the University of Louisville Southern Police Institute, and I went to Harvard.
Oh, God bless you. That's great.
Yeah.
What advice would you give our audience? Now, this program can be seen anywhere in the world.
Sure.
Okay. As far as maybe crime prevention, attitude toward crime, attitude toward criminals.
I think what you have to realize is that you have to partner with the community. That partnerships and community collaboration, and the most important thing that I can say as a police director is the legitimacy of our organization. We have to be seen as legitimate. If you see what goes on in other parts of the country, if you notice here in Paterson, well, there was unrest in other areas of the country. There was not unrest here in Paterson. In Paterson, we allowed people to demonstrate. We allowed them to have an area to voice or express, their concerns. But in Paterson, there was one thing that was clear, and it was evident. They said that we don't have that problem here in Paterson, that we have a clear line of communication. They have accessibility to the mayor's office, to the police director's office, to the police chief's office. So those things are really important to make sure, to keep, that civil unrest and to have that legitimacy with the community.
Do you have a lot of foot patrols?
We have foot patrols. We have some new officers that are assigned to the neighborhoods. We will have Class 1 officers that will be going through the academy in March.
Right.
We'll be having 50 of those. They'll be handling quality of life issues. They will be on foot throughout the different wards in Paterson.
Right.
And they will be handling nuisance complaints, handling noise complaints, some of the quality of life issues that New York faced in the early 80s.
Yes. And that's so important because I think the community have to be able to trust the police department.
Absolutely.
And that's been a questionable experience,
Sure.
Just to read the media.
Yeah.
But to be able to trust a policeman and know that you can depend on one for a policeman, a policewoman, for assistance when needed. And, if I call a 911, I'm going to get help.
Yes,
That's
and that's the most important thing is that we are legitimate.
Yes.
And that we prove to the community that we want to be true partners and that we're going to serve you and that we're not here to hurt you, we're here to help you.
Yes, yes. And of course, one of the events that we sponsor annually is the 9/11 Memorial Mass,
Yes.
and we always have members of the local
Sure.
departments come, and that's one of the things I always reiterate, that we're honoring that 9/11 Memorial, which honors all the public servants. We want to remember that although we, at times, the average citizen, commit crimes, speeding, and maybe minor infractions, you are still there to help us
Sure.
and to direct us, and
Sure.
that's really important.
Absolutely.
And when people say, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned," we can sometimes say that to you.
Sure.
And we need a pass. We need a
understand.
direction.
You got it. I understand that, Father, for sure.
This has been Father Louis Scurdy chatting with a very dear friend, Jerry Speziale, Director of Police, Paterson, New Jersey. And we thank you for joining us, and let me hear from you. Contact me at fatherlouisscurdy@hotmail.com. God bless you.
Thank you, Father. Great to
I
meet you.
think that was